Welcome back to GSD Talks, episode number 9. This episode, we're talking about loss and prevention, and I have my buddy Lee joining me, who did a great interview. So Lee, why don't you tell us about who you interviewed and what you talked about?
Yeah, thanks, Lee. So I've just had the pleasure to interview Dayna Howard from Amazon. And I will say this is probably one of my favorites. I thought she was excellent. The content that flowed was phenomenal. And I'd imagine when the audience listens to this, they'll be super happy with what they received. The fact that she looks after a team of 500 personnel, I just couldn't believe that. I just think that is just monumental, and kudos to Amazon actually, and to the leadership of Amazon for investing so much in their security and specifically in loss prevention. So let's talk a little bit about your specific role and your team at Amazon. So what does the loss prevention team at Amazon actually do?
So the field team has pretty much 3 main buckets of responsibilities. So the field LP team, and they're the people that are in our buildings, working alongside the associate population on a daily basis. They investigate all internal and external theft and loss. And that may be a fulfillment center associate who steals a phone while they're processing an order, or that could be a driver who doesn't deliver a package that they're supposed to. They also are responsible for the physical security of the buildings, and that includes ensuring the video surveillance, the access control, the intrusion detection, the turnstiles, the metal detectors, all that stuff is functioning properly. And then lastly, they're responsible for conducting risk assessments on workplace incidents. And that could include anything from verbal escalations between 2 associates, suicidal thoughts, or heaven forbid, the unfortunate armed aggressor on site. And then also within my greater loss prevention team, we've got people that are on the physical security launch team. We've got program managers. We actually have software developers as well that build a lot of our tools that we use. And then we've got an entire team of investigators who support the field, but they also lead larger investigations involving seller fraud, vendor fraud, or workers' comp fraud. So it's a team of, I think, about 500 people at this point. It changes daily. It's a pretty big team, and there's a lot of expertise in that team.
So you've got 500 people in your team?
Yeah, about that.
I also loved the fact that Dayna talked about taking risks, thinking outside of the box, surrounding herself with smarter people. And I think that's just amazing to hear that from a leader, that a leader is willing to showcase a little bit of vulnerability. So what is one piece of advice that you can give for women in security trying to get promotion in a large corporation in 2020?
4 words: be bold, take risks. When I look back at my time at Amazon, the best decision I made was when I was tapped on the shoulder to take a role leading a few teams that I had no subject matter expertise on. It was extremely scary and a very vulnerable experience, but by taking that risk, I became very comfortable with a new style of leadership. Whereas in my old role, I had been the expert, I had all the answers. In my new role, and this ties back to what you were just talking about, but in my new role, I had to hire people smarter than me to help me make informed decisions. I think people sometimes have tunnel vision when they think of promotions for themselves, and they really only look in one direction, where there is likely a variety of paths to promotion for an individual.
So for me, it was an absolute joy to interview her, and I know for a fact that the audience are going to love some of those snippets and nuggets of wisdom.
Well, I'm excited to hear it, and it's always nice to get an insight into a company like Amazon, and kudos to GSD and you for being able to get somebody like that to come open up and give a little bit of insight and feedback. So looking forward to it and excited to see it.
Thanks, brother. GSD rocks, and we look forward to the next ones.
Yes, sir. Thank
Thanks.
you.